Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ila hadratin Nabil Mustafa Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam ala niyati syifa wa rafnanil bala wa nasri al-a'da wa suqyal ghaith wa taysir fil umur wal futuh fis sudur wa ila man sabaqana ila rahmatillah wa ila masyaikhina wa ila asatizatina wa liman hukum alaina wa liman ahabana liman awsana bid-du'a al-Fatihah. A'udzu billahi minasy syaithanir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim. Maliki yaumiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghairil maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Amin. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear beloved jamaah, congregation of Masjid Maarof, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Allahumma zidna ilman nafi'a warzuqna fahman wasi'a. Allahumma faqihna fid din wa alimna ta'wil wahdina ila sawa'i sabil. Allahumma aftah alayna hikmataka wanshur alayna min khazaini rahmatik birahmatika ya arhamar rahimin. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli, amma ba'du. Alhamdulillah. All praises to Allah Subhanahu wa ta'ala, creator of all things. And Allah, may us sing praises and salutations upon Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to his family and also to his companions and those who vigorously follow his sunnah, insyaAllah. And today we shall continue, and first and foremost I would like to apologize for my absence last week. It was a last minute thing. I think I can arrive here, but then again Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has other plans for me, but do forgive me, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless all of us for our efforts. The beauty in Islam is that whenever a servant, a Muslim, he set intention to do good, he will receive the reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Just by setting good intention, we will receive reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But if a person has an intention of doing something that is bad, just by having intention, he had yet to commit a sin. So there's no sin when we judge. But once committed, only then that person will be penalized or punished by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wa na'udzu billahi min dzalik. And if a person who has in good intention, he got one reward, and when he does that intention, he gets another reward for it. Subhanallah, masyaAllah. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward us for having good intentions, and also give us the strength and consistency to be here inside the mosque, and to be sharing, to be learning, to be performing acts of goodness and acts of worship to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We shall continue. And we have left off, we have talked about al-ujub. Conceit is a deep-seated disease. We have discussed this. And today we're going to discuss another topic, which is al-kibr. Al-kibr, or should I say takabbur, is another sins of the heart. InsyaAllah. Qala al-Imam Abu Hamid al-Ghazali rahimahumullah ta'ala wa nafa'ana Allah bi ulumihi wa bi asrarihi wa bikum jami'an. He said that wal mutakabbiru huwa alladhi idha wu'idha anifa wa idha wa'adha annafa وَكُلُّ مَنْ يَرَى نَفْسَهُ خَيْرًا مِنْ أَحَدٍ مِنْ خَلْقِ اللَّهِ سُبْحَانَهُ وَتَعَالَى فَهُوَ مُتَكَبِّرٌ بَلْ يَنْبَغِي أَنْ تَعْلَمَ أَنَّ الْخَيْرَ مَنْ هُوَ خَيْرٌ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ تَعَالَى فِي الدَّارِ الْآخِرَةِ وَذَلِكَ غَيْبٌ وَهُوَ مَوْقُوفٌ عَلَى الْخَاتِمَةِ. So the difference between ujub and kibr, ujub, he feels that he is better, but he doesn't compare. He thinks he is good, he's excellent, he's one and only. But when it comes to kibr, takabbur, al-mutakabbir, this is one of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala beautiful names. We always read the 99 names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One of it is mutakabbir. And here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not this book, but in Asma'il Husna, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala compare himself with his creation. Nothing come close to being better than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the creator. Nothing is better than the creator. Unlike us, when we create something, our creation might be even better than us. Faster than us, quicker than us. We need it for us to have a better life. For everything to be done smoothly. That is us, creature of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But unlike us, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He told us in the Quran that He is mutakabbir, that is where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us nothing is comparable to Him. We cannot associate partners to Him. But if this attribute, this beautiful name is put on a creature, let's say for example, na'uzubillah min zalik, there's a person telling him, I am better than anybody else. That he had performed one of the cardinal sins, a big sins, a grave sins, which is shirk. He is saying that he is better than anybody. Because in life, if we think we are better, there's always somebody else is better. And if we are down, we feel inferior, there will always be someone who is lesser than us. So we must always be moderate, be neutral. We cannot be arrogant, kibr, mutakabir, no. We must be always humble to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So over here, Imam Abu Hamid al-Ghazali rahimahullah ta'ala explained, al-mutakabbir huwa alladhi idha wu'idha anifa, which means the arrogant person is one who, when warned, haughtily rejects the advice, yet when warning others does so aggressively. Anyone who sees himself as better than one of Allah's creature is arrogant. So when someone advises us, we say, thank you for your advice. This morning, at Madrasah Isyak, we had PTPC, Parents, Teacher, Pupil Conference. Last time we have PTM. What is PTM? Parent Teachers Meeting. Now we involve the student. Because why? Because the main character in the primary school is the student. Okay? So, inside I've been talking since 7 o'clock until 12:30. And then I prepare myself and to go to the mosque. So why am I telling you this story? It's because that we cannot feel arrogant. At times when we are a teacher, when we talk to parents, we always, mingle with the child. We always think that we know better about the child, But instead, we don't do that. We discuss. We hear from parents what they have to say. And sometimes, many times, teachers, educators, finding it hard to receive feedbacks from parents. In fact, they might be afraid that they did something wrong. And this always shaitan, whispers in our heart. But for us as Muslims, we should be Number one in receiving feedbacks. Not just giving feedbacks or giving advice, but also receiving. And we always say, please give me constructive feedback. Because why? We want, so that when the person gives feedbacks, it doesn't hurt us. But the thing is, advice will always hurt us. It will, wake up. It will make us wake up. It's a wake-up call for all of us. Sometimes it's a slap on the face, and because we fail to see. And many times, as educators, parents, teachers, students, we love to assume. That is the part, it shows arrogance. Instead of asking, instead of, discussing, we love to assume that this child is like this, the parent is like this, the teacher is like this. That's why we have this conference, this meeting, so that we are able to share, everything put down on the table. All parties be humble, especially the children are learning from us how the parents speak, how the teachers speak. So it's a beautiful thing that is happening. It's not about telling whether the child are unsuccessful, the child had failed. It is more to how we can listen and understand and then find the right solution. Prescribe the child the best solution so that they are able to move forward. Many times the children, it is not their fault because they are young. Any young child, they will always be doing something wrong or commit a mistake. But we are fast to judge. We think that this boy is naughty, mischievous. There's a reason behind it. How many of us are ready to know the truth? Or rather I have 11 years experience. Again, I'm using myself. I'm not using other people. I'm doing self-reflection, self-introspection. I want to improve myself, not just to share knowledge, but also at the same time, at the end of this class, I want to be an improved and a better person. So let's say I have 11 years in experience. I cannot say, saya dah ada 11 tahun. Pengalaman saya dah tahu, saya dah nampak dah. Ramai pelajar-pelajar macam ni. See, we generalize. In fact, every child is unique because they came from different background. There might be some similarities, but all child is unique. And sometimes we assume negatively because why? When we look at the child, this child is naughty. By I look at the face, I know already. Well, he is wali, either the parent or the teacher, this adult is a wali. Because by looking, they know already. This we need to lower down ourselves. You know what they say? Suspend our judgment. Control our mind. Don't judge. Listen. Ask. Ask important questions that can get you your answers. And then, when you hear that, don't be happy if what you assume is true. In fact, astaghfirullah. Oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, grant me the strength, the capacity so that I can educate this child better accordance to their needs. Only then the children will love us, will respect us, will give what we want. So again, arrogance happen in parents, in teachers, in students. Student, when they learn, we need to educate them, advise them, guide them, tell them. When we have students, we don't let them choose which teacher is better than this teacher. This is no popularity contest. We must tell them, you must respect all of your teachers. Whether you like the subject or whether you like the teaching, you have to humble yourself and learn. What most important thing is that the child is able to, receive the knowledge with blessings, with barakah. How can a child receive blessing? Knowledge easy. Learn, study, inshallah. But then again, if there's no blessing, you look at the child. 10 years later, 20 years later, 30. If the knowledge still sticks, means that child, when receive the knowledge, he also receive blessings, barakah. But if the child learns and he forgets, Even though he get 100% marks, there's no barakah in the knowledge. Knowledge is not about easy and hard. Sometimes there are certain subjects, it is easy for us to grasp, easy for us to receive, easy for us to learn. But there are other subjects that is hard for us to learn. It is easy for us, hard for others. It is hard for others, but easy for us. So we must educate our children in primary school, in secondary school, in which level, you just learn it all. Don't pick and choose. So that when they learn sincerely. Because the moment the child or any student, any knowledge seeker start to pick and choose their knowledge, pick and choose their teachers, that is where there's a block. No matter how much guidance, how much futuh Allah Ta'ala gives, cannot receive. Why? They already block their mind. I don't like. What I don't like, I cannot receive. Correct or not? So you must unblock. You must unlock it by accepting. Never mind, okay. Every teachers have their own shortcomings and also strength. Every parents have their shortcomings and strength. Every student have their shortcoming and strength. We just have to look at the greener side of the field, their strength, what they can contribute, and then slowly, educate them, advise them, mold them into a better person. We need patience. We need perseverance from all parties. Because these are three, I always remind them that we are a team. Parents, teachers, students, we are a team. That's why the communication must always be good. Don't assume. Throw away assumptions. Because assumption doesn't serve. Inna ba'dhu zon ithmun. Allah SWT already says in the Quran. Ba'du zon. A lot, some of the assumptions are sinful assumptions. We must base on yaqeen. And yaqeen require ilm. Ilm is none other than information and knowledge. So we must ask. Keep on asking. We don't assume. We might have a strong hunch, but we don't totally follow our hunch. Follow what is the truth in front of us, mashallah. So that way, we won't be arrogant. All of these examples that I give you, in a perspective of a school, of a classroom, is just an example, so that we will not be an arrogant person. Arrogant is not, we just keep on talking about it. No. Sometimes through our actions, sometimes through situation, that is where we can find arrogance. And may Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala protect us from being arrogant. So, over here, Imam Abu Hamid Ghazali say, when advised, an arrogant person, whether a teacher or student who give feedbacks or they are arrogant when it comes to give advice. Means, oh, you don't change. If you don't change, you go out from the school. Oh, if you don't change, you are not my student. That is arrogance. Oh, no, teacher, you must listen to me. I'm the student here. So the student is always right. I pay the school fees. Arrogance. Cannot. We cannot have that. So arrogance have to go away. But when it comes for us to give advice, be lenient. Soften our approach. Okay, come. I've settled many cases during my time in madrasah. Many times if we approach it correctly, there will be a solution. And it is easy to solve. First, we approach the child. The child is scared. That's why he lies. Some people when they lie, it's because they are scared. Scared of something. Maybe they are scared because the teacher might not love him anymore. Or the teacher might scold him or beat him. Or might also be her. Okay? So we must make sure that they know, they can trust us. They are in safe hands. Means there won't be any harm. Okay? If there is punishment, it should only be constructive and also educational. That's why the rotan has to go. Or should I say, the rotan should be the last resort. Keep it in a store, locked. Because there are so many approaches, what we call educational, constructive, motivational, inspirational type of punishment that we haven't, make it functional yet. So we must be patient with ourselves also. Don't be quick with our hands, must be patient. And then be oneself, we must be strict. With others we be lenient, but with ourselves we be strict. But if we are strict with others and we are lenient with ourselves, we are arrogant because we think we are better than the one that we want to educate and mold and make better. Alhamdulillah. Rather than being arrogant, you should realize that the virtuous one is the one considered virtuous by Allah in the final abode. If you want to consider someone as the best, it should be only at his finest time. Meaning that he has been doing a lot of ibadah. Because in the eyes of Allah, the most virtuous, khairu shakhsin, the best of person, is none other than a pious person, a virtuous person. In the Quran, Allah Subhanahu wa Taala say, Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum, which means in the presence of Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, in front of Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, the virtuous of person are those who have piety and obedience. Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. Yang paling bertakwa adalah yang paling mulia di sisi Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. Takwa tu apa? Dia atas daripada iman. Iman kita percaya, we believe in Allah. But takwa, we not only believe, but we fear Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. Remember, I shared this before. First, we believe in Allah. And then we love Allah. Hubbullah. We must love Allah. So that Allah loves us. And after that, we must fear Allah. So it is balanced. Because if we know Allah loves us and we love Allah, we will be complacent. We will be complacent. Inconsistent in our amal. For example, we will, prompted to do bad things. We want to do bad things. Inclined. Because why? Never mind. If I were to steal, if I were to lie, if I were to do bad sins, cardinal sins, Allah will forgive me because Allah loves me. But we must balance it. We fear Allah. What if Allah, while I am trying to do something bad, commit a sin, commit a mistake, Allah take my life away? So taqwa plays an important part. So Allah says, Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. Whether you are a woman, you are a man, from whatever races, from whatever sections you are, whether you are young or you are old, those who have taqwa to Allah Subhanahu wa Taala is the best. Sometimes also we tell ourselves that I'm older, I had tasted salt before you. Aku yang merasa garam sebelum engkau. But that is not the measurement. That is a different measurement. When you eat salt, you will have what? A lot of high blood pressure. Different measurement. But the true measurement is that taqwa. Whether you are young, whether you are old, is always have been the taqwa as the measurement, not salt. Bukan garam. Awak makan garam banyak buat apa? Tapi kita fahamlah peribahasa itu, insyaAllah. So over here, your conviction therefore that you are better than others is pure ignorance. Rather you should not look at any other person without seeing that he is better than you. Allah, 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 Allah. So over here, Imam Abu Hamid Al-Ghazali, he says that when you look at the person, Whether he is young than us, we must put him better than us. But Ustaz, kalau saya cakap dia bagus daripada saya, dia hebat daripada saya, if he is better than me, then he will feel proud. That is not our concern. And Allah didn't say to tell him, just inside of our mind, to humble ourselves, not to be arrogant, not to be ignorant. We must always think that a young person is better than us. Because why? Over here he says, this child has not transgressed, had done nothing wrong. The boundaries of Allah, the Sharia, the hudud, the limitations that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put in front of us, the young child, because of his age, he have yet to transgress anything. If anything that he does, it is still, compared to ours, theirs is smaller. Maybe because haven't reached puberty, because they lack of knowledge, it's because of naivety. So maybe he's mumayyiz, mumayyiz, they have yet to understand between good and bad, but trying to understand, they are in that stage. But for us, we have tasted salt. We already have the knowledge. We have already understand the Sharia, the boundaries. We have a lot of time. We have so many years in front of me. So that person. That's why in the madrasah, we always encourage the students to read the dua. Why? Because they are pure. They only have naughtiness, mischievous. They don't have evil and bad yet. Adult, yes, evil and bad. But for children, they are only naughty and mischievous. If an adult or an older person is naughty and mischievous, that is considered as bad and evil. You get what I mean? So that's why when they make dua, because of their purity, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will accept their dua quicker. So every day we always make dua for the community in the madrasah. Be it my madrasah or any other madrasah. So madrasah plays an important part. Every morning when the time is at its peak, when there is the most barakah, we make dua for the community. Alhamdulillah. And that's why we must uphold the madrasah. And we must make more madrasah. Be it inside the mosque or outside as a private institution, whatever. We must make prosper our madrasah. Because that is the important. But that's why inside the class, the ustaz will always start with dua. Why? In this gathering, this is what we call Rawdah min Riyadil Jannah. Garden amongst the gardens of Jannah. So where we are seated here, talking, discussing about Islam, discussing about Allah, discussing how we can be a better Muslim. That is where the malaika, especially inside the mosque, is circling the mosque, circling the itikaf area, which we cannot see with our naked eyes. They are, making dua for us. Oh Allah, fulfill your humble servant's dua. For he had done a big contribution to the ummah by having these classes. You are chosen people. Even though our classes is small, but never mind. The people are quality. Those who are able to, spare their time to be here, to listen to classes. Even though they already know this knowledge, but they still are here. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make them their representative, mashallah. And those who are out there, listening from afar, through online, mashallah, you are Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chosen ones. And with this, more blessings are flowing to our community. Amin ya rabbal alamin, inshallah. And if you see an older person, this person is better than me. He has been worshipping Allah longer than I have. So, when I'm looking at our elders, I must respect them more. I cannot think, oh, I am knowledge even though I'm young. That is wrong way of thinking. That's the shaitan whisper. That is the desires talking to us. We must mellow it down and tell ourselves, these people, our elders, they have been worshipping Allah longer than myself. We look at the young is better than us because they are pure. We look at the elders because they have been doing ibadah long before us. MashaAllah. And then after that, if you see a knowledgeable person, say, this person has been given what I have not been given. When we meet like Ustaz Harun and all the other asatiza who is prospering the mosque, who is, we must look at them with the eye that we are lower than them. They are better than, because they have knowledge that we don't have. So you see, just imagine every single person in our community are taught this kind of mindset. Is this a bad mindset? Negative mindset? A mindset is backdated? No. This is a mindset that we should have. And when everybody have this kind of mindset, there won't be any what? Any kind of sins in of our hearts. There won't be any illness in our heart. Everybody will always assume good things, not assume bad things. Aku tengok dia jalan je, aku dah tahu ni kerek ni orang. Aku tengok dia menyombong je, lalu depan aku bukan nak salam, tak sedar diri betul. Aku masuk masjid ni sebelum dia, dia buat je. This kind of mindset, in our mind, in our heart, if we still have this, we must stop it from coming out from our mouth. Understand? We come to the mosque not to become proud, to be humble. That's why people say, Ustaz, when they want to go for Hajj, the big pilgrimage, they always have this mindset. Ustaz, I'm not ready. Belum dapat seruan, Ustaz. Saya ni kotor. Yang cakap lelaki, saya ni kotor. Kotor apa? Okey, tak apa, kita dengar. Tak nak assume, kita dengar. Ustaz, I'm filthy. I'm not ready, I'm not prepared. I'm still young. Ustaz, I do not know anything. Even solat also not perfect. But you have the capacity. You have the financial stability. You have your health. But you have no intention of completing the 5 pillars of Islam. That is, shaitan is playing you. The truth is, those people who goes to Makkah or goes to Madinah, goes to Kaabah, pray to Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala, I ask you, are there people who don't have any sins? They are Puritans, no sin at all? No. They have sins. That's why they go there. That's why we come to the mosque. Because every day we sin, every second we sin, whether we realize it or not. This morning, not this morning, this earlier khutbah is about wastage, pembaziran. The khutbah talks about wasting water. Why they are telling us wasting water? We are Muslim. We never waste anything. Even when we are taking wudu, we don't realize it, right? We are wasting water. We are wasting water. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam uses this much or even lesser than this to take wudu. But we have been using water. And even there's a hadith, a clear hadith that says, even when you are taking wudu, Rasulullah says to this sahaba, it was shared earlier, even when we take wudu, in a water flowing river, on the river there's a lot of water. How can it be wasteful? Even when you take wudu, it will still fall inside the stream, the river. It's flowing. We still have to be careful not to waste water. Allah. Kita ambil wuduk pun kita dah dosa. Macam mana? We don't realize it until this morning khutbah. Not this morning, this Friday khutbah. Allahu Akbar. So we are always having, kita ada banyak dosa. So that's why we must tell ourselves. We must always remind ourselves to always be humble. Come to the mosque. Go for your pilgrimage. Seek forgiveness. You don't go for pilgrimage for the title. Aku dah haji sekarang. Kenapa nama saya tu cuma Ustaz Dr. Muhammad Fadli? Mana saya punya haji? I'm introspecting myself. Saya tak nak ajar macam gini. Tak lengkap saya punya title. Mana saya punya? Where's my title? My name should have Ustaz Dr. Haji Muhammad Fadli. Where is my title? Astagfirullah. You don't know how much I pay for the haji? Huh? You don't know how much I pay for my doctorate? Huh? You give me this kind. You spell my father's name wrongly also. A-Y-U-B. You spell A-Y-O-B. Ayub. Who is Ayub? My father is Ayub. Wah, sombong. Arrogance. No, we couldn't have that. Huh? That's why Asatiza, Sheikh, they always say Al-Faqir. They don't say doctor, ustaz themselves. They say Al-Faqir. What is Al-Faqir? Al-Faqir amama rabbihi. Al-Faqir means a needy person. In front, a needy person, a poor person, a pauper. In front of his Lord, in front of his Creator, in front of his God. That is the title that we call ourselves. Whatever we have, Hajj, that is between me and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Doctor, that is my education. I love the subject so much, I go deeper and learn, understand how to educate our community to learn Arabic language. Not for show. That is why. Ustaz. I didn't call myself Ustaz. People give me the title because I'm teaching religious studies, religious knowledge. But for myself, I don't call myself Ustaz. When I am here, like I told you, I am Ustaz, you call me Ustaz. I know myself as Fadli. I go back home, I don't call myself Ustaz. My mother will, piat my telinga. Ustaz, aku yang pakaikan kau lampin dulu, mandikan kau, susukan kau, Ustaz, kau nak demand respect pula kat sini, respect ibu dulu. Get what I mean or not? When I am at home with my wife, I'm a husband, not an Ustaz. When I'm with my children, I am a father, not an Ustaz. But then again, for myself, I must uphold the title so that that people will respect whoever has the name Ustaz, Doctor, Haji. The work must be done, but we shouldn't be proud of it. That is arrogance. We shouldn't feel that we are better than anybody else. If you see an ignorant person, ignorant person, to put it simply, stupid person. To say stupid also wrong. Because by saying stupid, we are putting that person lower than us. Ignorant means he ignore. Ignore what? The advice, the sharing, the lessons, he ignore. It's a lighter word than stupidity. So we don't call people stupid, idiot, no. We call them ignorant because they ignore the calling of Islam, the invitation of Islam. Even when we look at someone is ignorant as that, this person has transgressed against Allah most high in ignorance, while I have done so knowingly. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because an ignorant person, he has no knowledge. He has no knowledge, no information. An ignorant person can be our good neighbor also, but we don't call them ignorant. I'm telling their state. Because why? If they are afraid of a Muslim who dresses, who have beard, it is because they lack knowledge. Means they do not know about Islam. And we don't think that, you talk bad things about Muslim, I'm going to heaven, you are going to hell. You get what I mean? We don't say that. If that's running into our mind because we are angry, we must try to find another alternative so that we can calm us down. Because that way of thinking, shaitan is playing us. Next time, even though they don't hate us, we will always think that we are better than them. I wear the jubah, and then I enter the elevator, I saw a person who is not dressed, not covered, their aura, their modesty. I cannot say that, kesian tak cukup kain. Kesian tak cukup kain. Kau tengok aku, jubah, cantik jubah aku, kilat. No, we cannot have that. We must say, Alhamdulillah, oh Allah, may Allah grant him and grant us all guidance so that we are consistent and also they can enjoy being a Muslim. Don't you enjoy being a Muslim? Is it a burden? We can't wait for Ramadan. Am I right? 8 days more. 8 days more. The coming of Ramadan, we can't wait. That is us Muslim. We love ibadah. We love the acts of worship. We don't say solat is boring. We don't say alamak puasa aku nak makan leceh Ramadan. The moment you have that, you enter Ramadan, you dreaded it, and then you waste your time 30 days in the month of Ramadan. Na'uzubillah min zalik. But if you anticipate, you are excited, yes, Ramadan is coming, blessings is coming, more rewards for me. Hopefully I get Laylatul Qadar, the night of decree, the night of power. That is what we want. We anticipate, we are excited. So that is Muslim. But then again, do we belittle other people? No. That's why we make dua for them. Oh Allah, give them guidance so that they can enjoy what we are having here. Acts of worship. Many non-Muslim embrace Islam. At first they are afraid of the acts of worship. But once they practice it, once they really practice it, they understand the philosophy behind it. The symbolic, the actions of the wudu, the prayers and everything, mashallah, they can't stop performing acts of worship. Subhanallah. Okay, so acts of worship, we must love them, we must be excited. May Allah grant us strength to perform our tarawih, recitation of the Quran, and also our middle of the night salat, tahajjud, taubah, tasbih, hajat, and we are able to perform them all, insyaAllah. Amin ya Rabbal Alamin. And if you see an unbeliever, I don't know, maybe he will become a Muslim, you know. Even a person who haven't embraced Islam, we must always think about we must always be thinking them they are better. Because why? If any time that person embrace Islam, whatever they have done before they become a Muslim, everything will be removed. Everything will be eliminated, as if that person has just born to this world, like a newborn baby. Now you imagine with this kind of mentality, with this kind of mindset, with this kind of thinking, subhanallah, can solve so many things. Can solve so many things. We don't assume. There won't be any hatred. There won't be any enmity. When we enter the mosque, everybody will be smiling. Everybody wants to, be a positive Muslim, to share their identity. They are not afraid. Because why? When we look at other people, they are always better than us. But at the same time, we know, because what we have done is an ibadah for me and for Allah. And Allah will never forsake anybody who does ibadah to Him, except that person will be awarded, will be rewarded, will be elevated, will be closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allahu Akbar. And if you see, okay, MashaAllah, arrogance will not be removed from your heart until you realize that the truly great person is he who is great in the sight of Allah Most High, and that this depends on one's final state, which is uncertain. Because of this uncertainty, your fear of a bad end should preoccupy you and keep you from being arrogant towards Allah's servant. The fact of your present certainty and faith does not lessen the possibility of change in the future. For indeed, Allah is the changer of the hearts. He guides whom He wills and leaves to stray whom He wills. This is a reminder to myself. Any knowledge that I acquire, that I learn, any good deeds, any acts of worships, ibadah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I shouldn't be mutilated it with thinking that I am, better than anybody else. It was never about the title, it was never about the status, it was only solely for the sake of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. As simple as that. If our intention we do for the sake of Allah is not enough, there's something wrong with our ibadah. With something wrong with our hearts. We must correct it with zikr, with istighfar, reading the Quran, going for classes. Only then our heart will be softened, and inshallah we will be able to receive the truth. Inshallah, we stop until here. I think the next one, if I were to read for you, will be a very big topic. Inshallah, we will stop here and let us all do some istighfar. May Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala forgive us. And inshallah, next week is the last day before the fasting months of Ramadan. I don't know what's the mosque timetable or schedule is, but I believe next week should be our last class, and then after that Ramadan. And if we have Hari Raya, then the mosque will also stop. So it's going to be 2 months before we meet each other again. If we have Hari Raya. If we don't have Hari Raya, continue the class also will not be a problem. Inshallah. Astaghfirullahal azim alladzi la ilaha illa wal hayyul qayyum wa atubu ilayhi. Astaghfirullahal azim الذي لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم وأتوب إليه. أستغفر الله العظيم الذي لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم وأتوب إليه. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم إنا نسألك العفو والعافية والمعافاة الدائمة في الدين والدنيا والآخرة. اللهم أحسن عاقبتنا في أمور كلها وأجرنا من خزي الدنيا وعذاب الآخرة. اللهم إنا نسألك من الخير كله آجله وعاجله ما علمنا منه وما لم نعلم ونعوذ بك من شر كله آجله وعاجله ما علمنا منه وما لم نعلم. ربنا اغفر لنا ذنوبنا ولوالدينا وارحمهم كما ربونا صغارا. ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما. اللهم اغفر للمسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات الأحياء منهم والأموات إنك السميع قريب مجيب دعوات يا قاضي الحاجات. اللهم اختم لنا بحسن الخاتمة ولا تختم علينا بسوء الخاتمة. اللهم اختم لنا بحسن الخاتمة ولا تختم علينا بسوء الخاتمة. اللهم اختم لنا بحسن الخاتمة ولا تختم علينا بسوء الخاتمة. اللهم بارك لنا في رجب وشعبان. اللهم بارك لنا في شعبان وبلغنا رمضان. اللهم بارك لنا في شعبان وبلغنا رمضان. اللهم بارك لنا في شعبان وبلغنا رمضان. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وقنا عذاب النار وقنا عذاب النار. اللهم اسكنا جنة مع الأبرار يا عزيز غفار يا رب العالمين. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين. تقبل الله منكم منا ومنكم تقبل يا كريم. وبالله التوفيق والهداية والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.